So welcome back to Street Switch Photography. I realised a few seconds ago that I'd actually deleted my intro. So I've had to make a new intro. Still getting used to Linux and OBS, obviously. I'm really not that good as good as I thought I was. But let's roll the intro and see what it looks like. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, So there you go, there's my new intro. I haven't got everything sorted out the way I'd like it to be sorted out just yet, but obviously I'm using a high resolution camera, which is my phone, my Samsung Galaxy, I think it's the A54 or something like that. But as you can tell by the title of this video, the Grooming Gang's latest, Jim Gamble explains how toxic environments led him to leave the inquiry. Now, there's multiple people leaving this Grooming Gang's inquiry. These people, some of them victims, because they don't believe that Labour are going to do a proper job on this inquiry. So what I'll do is I'll take you over to GB News and I'll show you exactly what it is that's being said and what's happening. Take a look at this.
Gang's inquiry lurches from crisis to crisis, and we can speak now with Jim Gamble, the former policeman who resigned today from the running to be the inquiry's chair, and also GB News national reporter Charlie Peters. Jim Gamble, I think you're there for us now, sir. Jim Gamble, thank you for joining us. You've said in a letter today that you're tired of the political point scoring. You must be deeply disappointed to have to withdraw from this inquiry.
I am. I think there's been, misinformation, and I feel for the victims and survivors who feel yet again that they're stuck in the middle, and there's evidence that they're being pulled in different directions, and some of that is about misinformation, and some of it's about party political point scoring. I mean, you introduced me, as a former police officer, and of course I am. I'm former because I resigned 15 years ago in protest at what Theresa May was doing to the Child Exploitation and Online Protection Centre. In the 15 years since, I have been involved in a range of reviews which have called out the police in and across the UK, have highlighted failings in social care and elsewhere. And one of your reporters covering this not that long ago, when describing me as this former police officer, said that one of the problems was that I wouldn't understand modern slavery. I was in at the ground floor when we began to learn about modern slavery, to understand the impact of it, and to be able to align that with the human trafficking that takes place, not just internationally, but locally. And I held the Association of Chief Police Officers lead on these issues. So I think, everyone plays a part, and everyone needs to be responsible when they are pushing out information to victims who are carrying this burden of pain, because misinformation actually misinforms and it leads to people making judgments on what they think is credible and factual information when actually it isn't.
Okay, Jim. Hi.
Jim Gamble, thank you. Charlie Peters with me now.
Yeah, Jim, I think you're referring to me when you're saying the reporter who made reference to modern slavery. Well, I was referring to a comment made to me by one of the survivors who interviewed you, and that was a concern they had shared based on conversation with you, saying his background is brilliant. And I did also share many of the positive comments that survivors engaging with you had heard, but said that they were worried about a lack of modern slavery knowledge. But I'm glad to have you put your expertise on the record on that here.
So for actual victims to be leaving the inquiry because they don't believe Jess Phillips is going to do, let's just say a proper job, but let's just say Labour aren't going to do a proper job. What is it they're actually hiding? I mean, it does make you wonder, doesn't it, just how deep this actually runs. How far does the rot actually travel within this party if they do not want a national inquiry into these Pakistani grooming gangs? Now, there's been rumours that it's because they're scared of being called racist. They're worried that the Muslims will kick off and all the rest of it. Well, if they do, they do. I'm sorry, but the children are more important. The victims of these crimes are way more important than any political party or anybody within those political parties. And what is actually happening is, I bet Jess Phillips is grinning like a Cheshire cat because of what's happening. These people are leaving these inquiries because they know that Labour are not going to do a proper job, which is wrong. It's disgusting and unjust. Let's take you back over to GB News and let's carry on watching and see what he actually says.
Today, perhaps there was a limited time to explain that background to the survivors, because of course we know that they had to submit their questions in advance and not all survivors were able to attend that interview. Are you concerned, as many of them have said, that the process was stage managed and that you weren't afforded the opportunity to discuss your background more broadly?
Pull the thread and the hole is fixed. Next
Just
time
get
your
you
clothes
past
tear or
this
come apart,
advert.
don't throw them away. With this simple trick, you can restore them. First, draw it.
Now, what I'd also like to mention is Sadiq Khan, when he was being questioned in a scrutiny committee, you know, different individuals asked him the same questions. Do you think there are Pakistani grooming gangs in Greater London? And he did not answer the question. He blatantly ignored the question. And if you go and watch that video, there's plenty of them on YouTube. I'm not going to show it on here because the bloke actually goes through me. He turns my stomach just to look at him. He makes me vomit in my mouth and re-swallow it because I find him that fucking vile. That's the type of individual I wouldn't want anything to do with in my entire life, ever. Now, this individual is obviously involved with these grooming gangs as sorts. I believe Jess Phillips and probably Keir Starmer and a lot of the other Labour benches are. Now, some of the towns and cities that these grooming gangs are actually residing in are all led by Labour. This is extremely suspicious. This is also sort of pulling into sort of the China scandal. People are going to think, or Keir Starmer's going to think, that everybody's forgot about that. Believe me when I say this is the end of Labour as a government ever again. The same as Tory, it's the end. It's going to be the Green Party and Reform UK. What they're going to be like, I do not know. Who knows what's going to happen? We're living in some extremely interesting times, and whilst we live through these interesting times, you've just got to literally batten down the hatches, protect your family and stay safe and keep your family and children safe. That's what men are here to do. That's certainly what I'm going to be doing. Let's go back to the GB News and see what else to say, and then I'll call this the end of the video.
I mean, look, thank you for that clarification. I really appreciate it. I think, yes, there are issues. I spoke to two victim and survivors panels, which is indicative, I think, of some of the problems that the Home Office are trying to manage, because different people come from different lived experiences and have different hopes, fears and expectations. I was totally unaware that they had to have their questions, you know, proofed by someone. And in fact, I totally, I find that abhorrent. That shouldn't happen. These are people who are reflecting their lived experience. As I said to them at the time, if I had been successful, the first thing I would want to do is give them the opportunity to speak to me in groups if that's more comfortable. But actually, people need the opportunity sometimes to share some of the detail they have in private, in one-to-one.
Now, I'm a big believer, like I say, there's these witnesses and everything else. There's these victims, survivors, whatever you prefer to call them, that have come forward and are extremely worried about this inquiry actually falling through. And there's nothing more Labour would love than for that to actually happen. Either way, I think it's all going to come out. It's all going to come out. And I think when it does come out, people are going to be genuinely shocked. This is the biggest corruption of government ever in Great Britain. I don't believe you can get much bigger, and what's actually happening is quite shocking, and this is all to do with Labour and Tory. They were rotten to the core, and that is the honest truth. Now, I'm hoping that this video quality is a lot better for my channel. I'm hoping the intro's better. I'm hoping the sound quality is better. I'm hoping I'm better at presenting these shows for you, because I'm getting quite a few subscribers now, and I'm getting about 100 subscribers every single day, and I feel that I need to improve every single day as well. So please keep watching, please keep clicking the like button, keep hitting the subscribe button so you get my next video when they're out. I'd mostly do live videos. I will be in town on Saturday down at the Reform tent. I'm taking some flags down with me to give away for Reform to give away. There's a particular person that's been asking for a wall flag. Well, I've got one. If you pop along to the Reform tent on Saturday, I'll have it in my rucksack. Come and collect it off me. You know who you are. I won't mention your name on the channel just in case you don't want mentioning. This has been Street Switch Photography. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Go and hit the notification bell. And I'll see you in the next video. Let's roll the outro.
Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah.